Linux was invented in 1991 by Linus Torvalds as a free open source operating system. Open source refers to any software or program that is free to edit and use by anyone anywhere. The open source community is a large community, very large, of dedicated individuals who truly wish to see their products become the best products that they can be. They don't do this for commercial gain most of the time. Don't do commercial gain, but instead for their own personal sense of involvement and contribution. This has created a system that is really has pushed the boundaries of computing. Its widespread use in such areas as server management and supercomputing are perhaps what it's best known for. Uh, However, Linux is also a part of our daily lives. Every time we access any sort of server or database, we use Linux constantly. Our computers, when we connect to the internet, we're using Linux. Or our cable boxes actually run off of Linux most of the time. Android phones have Linux embedded inside of them, and 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 airplane navigation systems and weather supercomputers also are contributions that have been brought about by Linux. Um, it's a highly successful and wildly popular operating system. Um, there are many forms of Linux known as distributions. These include Debian, Fedora, and OpenSUSE. Um, Others that use it for laptops or PCs might even use Ubuntu, which is another common one. Basically, Linux currently runs the world's 10 most powerful supercomputers, as well as being the operating system for many thousands of servers worldwide. IBM even packages many of its servers with Linux. However, they can't charge for the operating system itself because it's a free open source operating system. But they can charge for the services and the documentation and any other support that they give for it. Um, Linux is there's a reason Linux is so widespread and well used. It's far more secure and more stable and more versatile than Windows run systems. Um, as far as security goes, Linux users don't have to worry about exploits such as viruses. Um, these just typically aren't really made for Linux systems, and if they are, the large widespread community that I mentioned jumps on it really quick and takes care of those problems. Um, they tend to get things fixed pretty quickly. Um, the uh, the Linux community often has many answers already on their forums, and if not, then you can ask them any question you'd like, and they'll answer it with a pretty quick response. Um, but when it comes to Windows, the support is usually very expensive, and you have to go through ridiculous channels to even get somebody. And the service with it's interesting how even though the service with Windows is paid, you still get better service with a free software, and that's because of the amount of passion that has gone into this community. It's a strong knit community, and Linux is well loved by its followers. It's far more stable than Windows as well. When Linux just does not crash, very rarely ever, and uh, and everybody knows Microsoft is a pretty bad victim of that. Windows has really always had a problem with stability. Um, this makes it way better for server use, and because typically when a business server falls, there's a lot of problems. They can't receive their money. They can't send out their money. Their money is a big problem for businesses. um, but as I've stated, the Linux is mostly used, well, is highly used throughout our entire lives. But perhaps the most important use is through servers and supercomputing. Um, and the community is really what has held it together throughout the years and made it an outstanding product. Thank you.